Hello and welcome to the Path of Exile video where I explain my personal approach to Path of Exile trade. This approach actually allows me to play a lot of builds every single league and actually maintain my YouTube channel. And surprise surprise, I never farmed currency, the currency just drops from me playing the game and I go to the Path of Exile trade and here where actual min-max happens. And in this video I will actually explain how I approach this particular part of the game. And here we are in Path of Building software. This is the only third-party software that you will need, and this software not only allow you to actually plan your build, but also this software allow you to plan your trade. And this is the general principle of this video. You plan things accordingly and really reasonable, and you spend less currency and you buy better items and have more fun just upgrading your build or maybe playing another build. Simple as that. And the first part of the planning is actually to get and know your unique items. Almost every and single Path of Exile build will use some unique items to make some interesting interaction happen. And in this particular scenario I will be using Chain Ignite Elementalist, which as you can see have quite a bit of unique items. And let's go with the most expensive item of the build, the Surrender Unique Shield. And as you can see, the most cheapest shield is costing 30 chaos, but the rolls of this item is rather meh, and as you can see this one is corrupted, this one is corrupted, so 35 is the first item that is kinda workable. And a rather important note about the shields in the game and many other implicit life items, that implicit item can actually be rolled with the Blessed Orbs. They are rather cheap and accessible, so you usually search for by the explicit rolls, in this case by the life prefix. And here we go with the actual life in the filter, and as you can see the pseudo will actually include our implicit life, but if you go for the explicit it will exclude, and the maximum life roll on the Surrender Unique Shield is 80, but I do not want actually the maximum life roll because, well, if you go for the maximum life roll, we're already at 80 chaos, which is alright, kinda alright, but we can spend less by going the 2 points less. And as you can see, we are already at 40 chaos orbs, which is half of the price. The next step is the armor. You kinda want to have some armor. That is like not really something really useful, but nice to have. So we are going for this case, we are going for the armor, of course, local, and we are going for 160 because it's kinda middle point. It's not the maximum 170, but it is alright. As you can see, we already have a rather great armor roll with 1 Exalted Orbs, and I think this is like perfect item when you are shopping reasonable budget. If you have not reasonable budget, you want to go for the perfect item, and as you can see over here we have the perfect item, which is like 15 times more. Is it reasonable? Not really. For that price I kinda can assemble another build and have fun for several weeks. So here we have the perfect contender, and here we have another a bit better with the armor, for example, and 1 life less. Here 1 life less, somewhere in the middle, so I think 1 Exalted, 2 Exalted is a reasonable price for this shield and these rolls. So as you can see, we did not spend like 10 Exalted Orbs, not 15 Exalted Orbs, we spent a reasonable amount on this unique shield. Next up is the Walls Devotion Amulet, which is, well, build enabling amulet for Chain Ignite Elementalist. And as you can see already, we have a lot of corrupted items. And we do not want corrupted items because we want to have Anoint. So over here we have rather interesting filter where you can search for non-corrupted items. So we apply that so we can see only non-corrupted items. And this item, well, it have some resistances and it have flat life, and the implicit we always can reroll with Blessed Orbs. Do we interested about Energy Shield? Not really. So in this case we can search by the actual life roll first and everything else later. Am I the person who wants actually spend 1 Exalted Orb on Walls Devotion? Not really. So I will search for something like maximum life, not really. I will search for something like 38 once again. And as you can see, we're already at 70 chaos. It is less than 1 Exalted, but I think it is reasonable. I think this is my contender. So here where I actually spent like 30 chaos less, because at the moment Exalted Orbs is like 100 chaos. So this is how you cut the corners, and well, you cut the corners with 1 flat life. What is flat life? Like, does 1 flat life on your build cost 30 chaos? I don't think so. And the next stop is the Aberath hoofs, oh my god, god hide boots. So these boots can be corrupted, can be not, 10 chaos. The only role that build actually like wants is maybe strength for a bit more life, but ignite, we have permanent ignite from the Ele, so we don't care about that, and 1 exalted orb, and no thank you. So I think this is the case of like 10 chaos and go. So the next one is Ramira Banquet Unique Ring, and is there actually any modifier that I actually kinda care? I don't think so. Wait a second, do I care about crit? I think no, because I am Elemental Overload. So yeah, I do not care about crit, I only care about unique things that actually this ring do. And as you can see here, we have a lot of on one chaos that listed like they go. Like you can like increase your chances of person actually replying by searching for something a bit more expensive, for something like 5 chaos. And yeah, it's like kind of funny thing about the Path of Exile. When you trade, sometimes buying something overpriced is way faster and easier than buying like 1 chaos ring, you know? And the next off, we have Replica Emberhawk Unique Ring. So let's see what we have here. Of course, we won't search by the roles. And if you will search by the roles, you will of course have something that already had the Catalyst applied, because, well, it have better roll with the Catalyst of elemental damage. So we won't search for the actual thing without Catalyst maybe, or who knows. So we have over here the 39 as the maximum. So let's see that. Yeah, we already have better contender. And as you can see already, like, I do not even need to search by the ignites. I kinda can. Let's search by the ignite as well, because this actual explicit is rather important for this ring. So yeah, here we go. And I think, as I'm correct, the 44 is the actual number that we want to search for. And we still have this ring, so 54 chaos, and everything above that is costing 2 exalt, 3 exalt. Yeah, it's kinda, and 50, yeah, of course. So not a lot of rings on the market, but for example, if you search for something like 32, 42 or 36, 37 for example, a bit lesser results, we have way better range. But still, this ring is a bargain. As you can see, this is a bit lower than the market, but it was listed like 1 day ago, so the actual purchasing power is not there, because, well, surprise surprise, this week 10, not a lot of people playing, so not a lot of people buying stuff. Like, when you play in the Path of Exile way earlier in the league, it is way easier to buy the items, and this video just show you when even it is like way late into the league, you still can find the bargains and can still build in the budget. Next one is the Glorious Vanity, and generally nothing say here. The Xubaqua is first one with 6 chaos. And the general tip, if you do not have, like, here we have the instance when we have only Noir, you know what? Like, if you want to search for something like Xubaqua in our case, it will most likely be a bit more pricey. Yeah, it's like 10 chaos, 10 chaos, and they all AFK. Is there anything like, is it this is fucking price fixing? Seriously. So here we have, yeah, the reasonable price is like 15 most likely, and here this dude is most likely price fixing as well. So yeah, the actual price of the Xubaqua is going like 15, 20 or maybe 30 chaos, and this is generally the place where you can kinda end up. And in this case, what you actually do, you go for just random like 9 chaos Anihua or whatever, but then you go and take the Divine Orb, and like with 2 or 3 Divine Orbs, just reroll your Glorious Vanity and hit your Xubaqua. Next up is the Red Nightmare, and here is nothing to actually say about, because they generally are rather cheap. Like 15, 20 chaos and you get your Red Nightmare. There is no rolls on the items. So we are done with our unique items. What you need to do next? First of all, of course, you can reference yourself in the game, but usually I prefer to actually import my character. And usually you can import your character over here, so you just type your account name over here. You just, of course, receive your information and search for your actual character over here.
Then you import that and see the items that you equipped in game. Of course, equip your items that you purchased in the game, so they show up in your actual path of building when you import your character. And of course, you will have your specific roles on your unique items, and you can actually assess what amount resistances, what amount of dexterity in our case, do this build have. And the major things about this build that we want to actually fix dexterity, fix of course our LRS, and build up maximum chaos res. This is the major goals, as well as getting some of the actual damage in place. So the first step is to actually search for large cluster jewel, and for that build the large cluster jewel is generally serving as some kind of adapter, so you want to search for the minimum amount of the passive skills, and for that we just search for this, let me to be correct, it would be enchant, and it would be a maximum of 8. This is really important. So this is the first step, and the second step, we are searching for something like Daryani Lesson, for example, because Daryani Lesson is a really nice notable, which actually give us the actual life leech from the elemental damage that the build actually do whatever. So I kinda cannot speak. So what is the actual contender? So we want to search for something with at least 2 roles in the notable department, and let's check it in the software. So I copied the item with this button, and I open up my path of building, go to the items, create custom, and just Ctrl V your item, and as you can see this even import the price. So we're creating add to build, and then over here we will have this item added in the last place. Let's check it out in the planner, and as you can see this particular one is not actually one that we want to go for because it had the Riani lesson over here, so this one I will pass. So let's see something else. Oh, here we have like free rolled for 35 chaos. This is really nice. Let's see. Let's create another one. Create add to build. And as you can see, this video is already becoming a bit long. And as you can see, we have increased lightning damage, shocked enemies, not really what I want. Here we have the Riani lesson. I'm kinda dodgy about this one. So, let's search for something else. Let's see what actual trait can actually offer. Do we have Lord of Drought, Flammability, Curse Effect? Not bad. Vengeful Commander. Oh, this one will most likely be the one. So let's... As you can see, there are a lot of back and forward between software and actual trait. This is what actually you end up when you're starting to planning things ahead. And as you can see, this is the perfect contender. So we have our early damage, some lightning rest over there, we have our Daryani lesson. I think this is the win-win situation. And the next stop, we are searching for the small cluster jewel with the Born of Chaos. And of course, corn, not the corn of chaos, Born of Chaos. And of course we are searching for the free passive because we want to roll on that. And we are starting at, oh, whoa, oh, holy moly, what is this prices? And as you can see, I am not even have like chaos roll, the additional chaos, and we already have like 2 exalted contenders, and like I will not spend like 50 chaos on the actual freaking jewel, you know. What I actually will do, I will just roll it, like 50 chaos, it's like, what is it? It is like, I don't know, like 200 alterations, which I will have anyway. So I'll try my luck and just roll Born Chaos on the small cluster jewel, I think. So for that we are going for the Craft of Exile. And over here we have the actual calculator. And in the calculator we will see cluster jewels. So, small cluster jewels. And we are searching for the Chaos Rest. And let's see for our Born of Chaos. How actually it is common. It's, yeah, waiting is rather obnoxious, but it is not so bad. So let's see. So we will hit in 36 alteration orbs on average. So it's like 11 chaos price. So as you can see over here, you can kinda like approach your purchasing with rational like thinking. So basically I would say from looking at that,
that any Born of Chaos passive cluster jewel is overpriced when it go over like 20 chaos. So when it's 50 chaos, it's freaking overpriced. You can just buy any base and roll your Born of Chaos. Of course, it needs to have at least level 68, it needs to have 3 passives, but you can roll it with the Orb of Alteration, and for that we will go for the actual emulator, create new item, let's go for the cluster jewel, let's go for the small cluster, and let's go for the Chaos Stress. So let's go for our like minimal requirement, 68, like garbage jewel that costs nothing. Of course we have free passive, be sure to have that, and let's start rolling that. And let's see how long it would take me to actually hit the Born of Chaos. And of course, because, well, it is demonstration, it usually will take like, I don't know how much. You know, like this would be like really obnoxious, like 100 alterations or something. I just had the Born of Chaos, like I rolled, like let's undo, like for the sake of the video. As you can see, it took me 36 alterations. And the next top is Megalomaniac Medium Cluster Jewel. That one gave me a lot of luck in the comment section. People just search for the perfect item, like not perfect, like perfect match. My Megalomaniac Cluster Jewel was not even perfect, not even ideal. It had like Born of Chaos and 2 other notables that was kinda useful, and that's it. And people was trying to search for that, and of course someone was really smart, just putting like 10 exalted jewel with the same rolls on the trade, you know. Kind of funny. Come on, be smart. So here we have the first stop with the Burn of Chaos, and brush with death, brush with death. So this one kind of useful because the recover life on kill is nice and damage over time is kind of useful, but another one is not really useful, and we have only like 56 items, and this is like week 10, one more time, this is week 10, 6 or 7 weeks ago. This search would result in like 100 or 150 Megalomaniac jewels with the Born of Chaos, so we have quite a range of the items where you can choose from. Searching for the perfect match is not the case, like you just cannot do that with the items like that. Of course, what I will search right now, I also search for something like that I can use, like generally with the Born of Chaos. So we have combat rhythm, whatever, and of course I will search for something like fire, and I will search, as you can see, I will search through like Windows search. Fire exposure, no thank you. Increase fire damage, so let's see. Cannot be chilled while burning, chance to cover enemies in ash, won't hit while you are burning, so this is only fire damage. This one, no, this will not work. So yeah, over here, no good luck. Let's search for the block, and what we have, dual wields block, not nice, that's kind of bad. So what next, like power charges, maximum power. As you can see, yeah, the trade is kinda dead, maybe, but maybe not, because not everything is actually indexed in the first kind of page, and even in the price of the 1 exalt, it's still reasonable in my opinion. Here we have, like, in my opinion, like, this is the case of, like, maybe, but like 2 exalted, I'm kinda on the edge about that one. But the next question is like 13 chaos res and damage over time. So the alternative is going for the small jewel with the actual another Born of Chaos and Chaos Stress from the small passives. But then I have no damage modifiers. And increased damage over time is nice. Like in my opinion, it's kind of workable. But can we search for, like, find something else? Is there any fire damage? And here we have increased fire damage, which is way, way better. Here we have another and this one. So these two. And this is the case, like, increased damage, increased fire damage, maximum chaos with Born of Chaos. So, in my opinion, if I was purchasing the Megalomaniac right now, I would go for that one. And the Exalted is like on the edge of reasonability, in my opinion, for like 3 kind of useful nodes. And yes, I will not have my block chance, but like I still getting like 2 nodes that have like damage modifiers that are useful on this build. So in my opinion, I will go for this particular item. And the next top is the medium cluster jewel, which is like your DPS jewel, which is rather important for this build.
And of course, we are searching for the Circling Oblivion, because it is one of the best nodes. Another one is like, I think, Burning Bright, as I remember correctly. And here we can actually have like 5 passive skill points, which is alright. Because like how the jewels work, the 5 passive is usually fine. You do not need to search for like 4. I usually go for the 5. And we want to have something like not only one, we want to have another one useful. Like, and yeah, do not search like for the same stuff, like seriously, it is not good. But in my case, like, come on, like 15 chaos, it's not even like expensive. It's usable, but what if we will search for something like Burning Bright? So, let's see. So we have 70 chaos. By the way, it's like kind of reasonable price, I think. Oh, and here we have Student of Decay and Chaos Res and Circling Oblivion. So this one is nice because we are kind of lacking Chaos Res at the moment. And I think when I was, I just went for this one. Like, I really like this one. This one is really nice. It have some Dexterity, some Fire Res, which is kind of relevant for me, but it have Chaos Res. Like, this one is really nice in my opinion. And we are searching for increased damage over time, for fire damage over time, we are searching for the fire damage, and we of course searching for increased duration of elements on enemies, for example. Yeah? So yeah, this is the stuff like. So here we are pretty much done with our cluster jewels, and as you can see we still have a lot of things to fix. We need to fix our cold res, we need to fix our lightning res, we need to fix our chaos res, and of course we need to fix our dexterity, and everything here will be done with our belt, helmet, body armor, gloves, and another one jewel. The jewel, I would say, is like plan B. We definitely need to fix everything with our helmet, body armor, gloves, and belt. So first of all, we need to understand what we want actually from the build. We want flat life, we want res and dexterity. So sometimes in those cases, like I want a lot of dexterity, then I will search for something like really nice roll for dexterity. For example, I will search for something like, I don't know, like is it 60 dexterity? I think 60, yeah, is easy dexterity. Not of course Scana. Of course we will search for rare item, and we will search for high dexterity roll, and we will generally see what items can roll really nice dexterity rolls in, and of course it would be the belts, because why not? Generally like 60 dexterity is the perfect roll on the gloves, as you can see, and it is rather cheap. So generally I will search for the gloves with something like, and as you can see, like I just search for the maximum like reasonable roll, which is like without any catalyst or whatever, or like unique shenanigans. And I see a lot of gloves that have really low price. That means that in this bracket I can search for something with really great stats, something with like flat life, for example. Flat life. What? Come on, dude. Yeah, of course, flat life is not... it's not modifier, come on, dude. So, we will search for life, and we'll just, like, you know, go and just check out the price range. So, we have 9 exalt and, like, 40 exalts, yeah, not our... and, like, just, like, see. So, I'm searching for very particular stuff, and I already see, like, 50 chaos for those gloves. And here we have fire res that I could not really use, but if you have the harvest in mind, where you can just swap your res, you can go and buy those gloves and swap the res for something like cold or lightning, whatever. And we have like 100 life, 60 dex. I don't know, like generally I think this is like a nice idea for those gloves. Everything else is just belts with such a high life. So I think like... considering the role of those gloves, like seriously, if I will just filter by the gloves only and search. Maybe there would be something with chaos res. This is like the second thing that I'm searching. Yeah, I'm really in dire straits about the chaos res. And the question is, with those gloves, does they have open suffix? And they does not have, and that is why those gloves are not the case for this build, unfortunately. So I'll search further. Here we have a lot of expensive gloves, and here we have 15, which is meh. No. Corrupted without chaos. Here we have lightning rays, we can craft chaos rays, we have a lot of life. So this one is kind of workable. I'm kind of on the edge about that one, but it's kind of workable. And 40 chaos, kind of usable. But before that, I will just... another feature like 60 dexterity was quite high roll. I will search for something else. I will go for the gloves from the other angle. Here there's like, this is where the main min-max is coming from, because there are so much rare items in the game that are on the trade, so you can choose from things and just pick the bargain with the best results and minimum currency spent. And search for something like 20 chaos roll, because everything else you can just craft. And we already have like contender, like seriously, this is lightning rest that I want. This is chaos rest 24. It's not like perfect, but it have dex, it have fire damage, 2 attacks, which is totally fine because it will not mess up my elemental equilibrium, because I do damage with spells, I don't do attacks. So yeah, those gloves like for 5C, like come on dude, this is bargain, like come on. Like I think yeah. Let's try something with like higher chaos. We have this, and we have this with, oh, this totally useless things. And everything below is pretty much too expensive, and here we have 26, but really low life. And then my coffee is ready, by the way. Let's do it again. Yeah, I think those gloves is basically the bargain gloves that I'm searching for. And a rather bit important part about these gloves, they are corrupted and they are strength dexterity gloves. So you could not kind of put blue sockets there really easily. Like at least you could not go for like 4 blue. So you need to keep in mind, can you actually put something useful there? Can you roll them with your benchcraft with the corrupted or not corrupted, wall orbs? In my case, I have lip slam, faster attacks and fortify. So I can actually put, like, I can craft 1 of color sockets, 1 blue socket for someone's keyboards, for example, or malevolence, whatever, and then just start playing at, like, until I hit this combination, which would be, like, no time. I will spend, like, maybe 10, maybe 20 wall orbs, which is kind of pricey, but when you consider, like, 5C price of those gloves, it's kind of reasonable trade-off. Once again, you need to be aware of your currency, of your capability. If you do not have that capability, just go for the gloves a bit like a bit more expensive, which can be like rolled with a normal currency. And with these gloves in mind, we already have 72 dexterity and we have requirement in 111 dexterity. And of course, because I am the very professional Path of Exile player, I will use the calculator and I will just go 111 minus 72 and I will get like 39 dexterity. So I need to get 39 dexterity on my helmet, body armor, or maybe belt. So for what I will go most likely for helmet. So helmet, because I just feel that dexterity roll there will be like easy. Once again, 39 dexterity. So of course, flat life, not like flat life, just like life. Come on, what is happening to me? And chaos res, because well, we want chaos res, like really want chaos res. Like at this point, like every bit of chaos res is, and we just have it. But like life roll, yeah, life roll is bad. But once again, like sometimes, if you want to be on a real low budget, you just can craft life and that's it. I think like crafted life is something like 75 life on the helmets. So like 80 life, it's a bit higher. Everything below, you just bench craft it. So, what is my thought about all that? So 31 chaos, 35 chaos. And once again, like, be reasonable, like, if you do not really care about like range of rolls on every other explicit, you can go for the cheaper one, like with the 31 chaos roll and just divine orbit until you hit 35. Like if you want to min-max your chaos rest, for example, this is the way as well. Here we have like 50, I think this one, but I have like only 30. And once again, let's see how much chaos rest do I need. So I need to hit something like 35 and because I have most likely belt where I will get majority of my chaos again. Do I need a lot of chaos? Not really. By the way, not really. So I can actually fix my go to like 86% chaos res with big chaos roll on my helmet and big chaos roll on my belt. Let's search for really nice chaos roll without prefix. And yeah, +1 level minions. I think this is the helmet. I will divine orbit and craft life. 4C and bunch of self-crafted currency. This is like the bargain that I was looking for. So as you can see, like I using the ridiculously underpriced items. So the next stop, let's assess our situation. So we have the weapon, which will be most likely self-craft. We have body armor and we have the belt. So with the belt, there will be a lot of variants. It will be not really hard to find specific one. But with 6-link body armor in mind, I think this is the next item that I want to search for and just see what I can struck, what the bargain I can find. So let's go for the actual body armor. And most likely it will be something like 6 wide socket. And of course we want item category, body armor. Like English pronunciation with armor. Alright, so we need sockets. And we need a frenzy chest. Yeah, frenzy chest is a requirements. Frenzy. It's total French. Frenzy charges. What is happening? Come on. Frenzy charge. Chance to gain frenzy charge on kill. Charge on hit. Yes, here we go. On hit. Chance to gain frenzy charge on hit. And of course, most likely the first one would be not 6-linked. Oh, this one's 6-link. Let's see what we need for our skills. 3 blue, 2 green, and 1. Yeah, this is like not going to happen just randomly. And let's see, like I'm feeling like, yeah, let's go just full on like 6. Yeah, I knew that there are the thing, still there are the thing. And as you can see, this one, this is your typical that you can find on the trade almost at any time, like 2C for like 6 wide sockets. This is like ridiculous. Like this is really ridiculous. Most likely I will go like for that one. Alternative is going for like what we want, like 2, 3, 1. Yeah. Am I correct? Yeah, 2, 3, 1. And it would be like, yeah, the only one on the trade. How it's even possible, I don't know. Whatever. Because it's frenzy chest, you know. Usually, if you are searching for something like that a bit earlier in the league, it's more accessible. But even like in worst case scenario, like this one went to 7.5 Exalt. You know what you can do? Like, I would totally go for that one, like, for the sake of this video. So I will actually paste that one. But what you can actually totally do, you can go for just random, what we want. We want green and red. So you go for some random life, really nice life roll. So red, green, blue. We want this one most likely. As you can see over here, we have really nice life roll. We have some res. We can craft either suffix, either prefix, which is ideal. So we can grab this chest, and you know what we can do? We can do the actual bloody fated connections, I think it's called. This like workaround. And it could be actually a bit pricey. Let's see. Yeah, 6 socket item, fully linked, 3 exalted orb. And this is like normal and ordinary price. So, what I have in mind. So, as you saw before, let's search one more time. Here we go. So, let's see. Once again, this one that I would most likely buy if I was buying it right now. But here's the next thing. And it have way worse life roll. It still kind of have the same advantage of crafting prefix. And this one, like, yeah, so this is not generally even great. And if you search for life, like, yeah, alright, the prices are just going through the roof. But if you search for something like 100 life, you will see why the method that I'm advising is way better. So, to have something similar, you will need to spend 9 freaking exalted orbs. And generally, what you do, you just freaking search for frenzy charge, frenzy chest, which have like reasonable attribute type, like strength int. So you need to craft only 2 of colors, which are 2 green sockets. So you just can spam actual craft with 2 green on that. So you just buy that one, you buy your free exalted orb, fated connection, you fully link that and just recolor that with chromatic orbs. And that's it. And for exalted, you spend like maybe 100, maybe 200 of chromatic orbs, you get yourself the better chest than this one. This is basically the approach how you can save your currency. And the next stop is Chaos Res and the belt, so I need to fix my chaos. So let's grab the calculator. So I want 86% for my cup, and I want exactly 25 chaos or maybe more. So I will search for the belt that have at least not that one, this one. At least 25 chaos. Just random, maybe this would be something like bonkers, but most likely not. So let's search for the life roll. We in department or something like that. So we will be searching for the leather belt or something ridiculous like this. As you can, as you can see, like 1C belts. Like this, like when people say that the gearing in this game is hard, there are so much items that just cost nothing. Even when nobody already plays the game. Like, seriously. Just, this is like this is like life for ages. Like, this one, of course, yeah, this one with the Catalyst will cost something. But Catalyst is generally a viable thing. So let's search for the life from other angle. Let's search for the explicit life. And let's search for something not perfect. Let's search for 98, for example. 100 is the perfect roll. Like 99 perfect roll. So we have this one with the cold rest, which is like ideal, but I want to implicit from the leather belt. So this one. And we can swap fire for the cold, of course. Can we craft something useful there? Maybe, maybe not. I do not care. And the ones with the strength is quite nice as well, because strength as well as life. So this one, this one, this one, this one. So this is like the belts for ages. Like, I don't know, I don't even know what to actually kind of think about. What better I can find with my money on that slot. Let's search for the leather belt first. Of course, like leather belt. Just ordinary leather belt. Can I have that? Just go for the leather belt. So let's see. Let's see the most overpriced belt on the market. What does it have? It have a bunch of stuff like that. Something reasonable have like chaos res. Just a bunch of res. Nothing special. Nothing really special happening on this socket. So like it's like, and generally, yeah, there's nothing. Like, just plain simple nothing. Like, this is ridiculous. So yeah, I think I will just go for the cheapest one. Like, seriously. And because I'm lazy, I will go for like 2C belt, which I do not need to reroll with the blessed orbs. And maybe like slap different craft here. And the question is, can I just like craft damage over time over there? I think not. I can craft elemental damage, and I don't remember, is elemental damage let's see, let's paste this item. And can I actually craft, so this one would be a prefix. Increased elemental damage with attack skills. No, will not work with the builds. And everything else, yeah. Is there any like damage? Increased damage is a prefix. So increased damage will work because we have initial damage which actually trigger ignites. So you can just craft your like increased damage over there. So this is a belt. And for this belt, I will not even want to use any catalyst on this. This is how bad this belt is, but it just fixes everything. And as you can see, like this belt also, most likely this is the case where I will just swap my lightning res for cold res with the harvest, which is really easy. It's not something like rocket science. So the cold. So total I used only one swap with the harvest, and that's it on the build. Everything else was done with the currency, with the bench crafts, with the divine orbs, and I still have 2 slots to fix. So and the next stop is stabilizing scepter base type, and here is where your assessment should be. When you are considering do I want to craft it or do I want to buy it. I personally was preferring to craft it because maybe I was just lucky. You can buy the base for like 20C, it is pretty reasonable. I usually go for 2 bases, I buy 2 bases and just alternate between 2 of them. When I hit something useful on one of them, then I try to use something better on the second and just go from one to another until I either hit something really nice or either I just out of the currency. Simple as that. That's why I usually reserve the crafts like that to the last socket that I need to do on the builds, because well, sometimes you just can spend all the currency on that. And if you go for the craft exile and search for the stabilizing scepter, and we are interested in the level of all spell skill gems and what are the average roll. And as you can see, average roll is like freaking 2k alteration orbs, and this is pretty insane in my opinion. I was able to hit it like in 50 alterations, which is insane as well, and really lucky, like it's like streamer RNG basically. But here's the thing, what is important about these lines? Important about those lines that if you search for this particular modifier, level of all skill gems, skill spell. So if you search for one on trade, and here you can see like 4 and 5 exalted versions, kind of versions, and spell damage is useless, crit is useless, 8 exalt, 9 exalt. So you can straight up buy this one and just be better, but in perfect world, I don't know, like this like where like every player experience will be different. I will just YOLO craft it, like no matter what. Something else will prefer just spend its currency, like their currency, and just go for first viable option. And the next stop, do you really want all spell gems? Like this is really nice to have, but when you consider the prices, is it even nice? Like, yes, it will affect your golems, but do you want that level of golems? You can live without that, in my opinion, especially like for 4 exalted orbs. So the next big thing, the next best thing is of course going for something like fire, lightning, or cold spell. And if you go for them, you have really more favorable results. If you have like 700 orb of alterations in your bank, you definitely can self-craft that. And the next step is just simulate the crafting of that. So let's craft new item, one-handed weapons, scepter, and we want stabilizing scepter. Here we go. Let's go with something like really bad, like level 83, whatever. And so I want to actually hit something between like level of, you know, spell gems, whatever the type. And and here we go. And as you can see, this was not really long before I hit something. Like it was not like 100 chaos equivalent. It was like 10C equivalent. Whatever, you understand me. So the point is,
because discharge is affected by lightning, by fire, and by cold, you will hit one of them, and it will be way faster than 100C worth of alteration orbs. And this one is totally usable already. Like, this one can be used because it will affect your discharge. And what you will do here, maybe you'll do benchcraft. So we have the prefix, we have the suffix. So you can go for, like, if you have the budget, you can go for the metacraft. You can go for, not the suffixes cannot change. So we go for that, which costs, I don't remember how much. I think it's 3x or 2x. It's not cheap, but come on, dude, be there. We use that. Then we have one suffix and one prefix, and on the suffix we can craft something like increased fire. Where is damage over time? No damage over time. Is it on prefixes? Fire damage over time multiplier, this one. I think this one. You also can always check the path building for all that stuff. And of course, yeah, this one. So we roll that, edit that. And the next one would be, I think, damage over time. Can we like craft one more prefix? Yes, we can. So basically this is, yes, you spent like what, 3 exalted orbs on that, but it's kind of usable. But alternative if you go for the trade, can you find something like, I don't know, or level of lightning, all cold pal gems? Let's see what we have here. We have basically nothing here. So there is no like usable substitute on the cold side. Let's go for the fire gems. And consider that the league is almost done, so not a lot of people trading. So it's pretty alright. And maybe you will hit something like with double like level. Who knows? Sometimes it happens as well. Here we have lightning damage, yeah, fire damage to spells. This one is kind of usable, but it's like, what? Dude, like nobody buy that. It's a ridiculously bad item for that price. Yeah. And here's an example like of perfect item for this build, and the price. As you can see, the price is there. So this one is a perfect item, and as you can see over here, the dude is still using multicraft to finish this item. So it's rather hard on some items, like target craft specific things, even with the hardest in mind. So yeah, sometimes the multicrafts will cost all the money in the world. And let's check the last one, the lightning spells. Maybe. Who knows? You never know. And you never know that you'll have nothing. This one, yeah. And param. So yeah, pretty much nothing. So most likely, like, you either roll some random stuff like lightning spell skill gems and just metacraft it, or maybe just slap one prefix and that's it. Whatever your budget allow you. So basically this is it. So this was a rather ridiculously long video. This is unfortunately the reality of some things in the Path of Exile. You just cannot be fast about that. And even if I was live and explaining all that live and actually trading for the live items, it would be even longer. That's why I was using the Craft of Exile, emulators, like copy-pasting items into my path of building. That generally sped up the process like twice, I think. But I hope this kind of information was helpful. If you're still watching, like, you're one of those people who will make it in the Path of Exile, even if it is like metric, you know. This is ridiculous how you can spend like several hours. Like, I think it's like I spent like 2 academic hours just explaining how I actually bought items for one of my builds. This is like freaking ridiculous. So if you enjoyed this video, like, just type something in the comments. Like, seriously, I will be so grateful for you, because most likely YouTube will just tank this video anyway, because it will have like a really poor performance after I don't know, like 5 minutes. Nobody will just watch, like 3 people will watch that. But still, like, leave the comment down below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll have the really nice and awesome league in 3.14 and onwards, and see you next time. Have a pleasant day, Exiles.